What's the deal, my people? You know it is Don Tony Teflon. I'm back at you another from season 2, episode 2 video breakdown. In this video, I will go over everything that happened in the video. I'll recap it for you, and then at the end, I will give you my theories and my take on what's going on in this video. So much is going on. We have so much to talk about. So if you can, please subscribe and click that bell so you can be notified every time I drop a new video. Let's get right to it. So Boyd talks to Martin, and he finds out that Martin has been in the town, and he says that he always thought that the town was the worst part until he went through the tree, and that's when he got caught. And apparently that's when he got taken to this place. And it's not just him. They show other skeletons, bodies rotted all the way, full skeletons out there that are in the exact same position that he is in. After that, they switch back to Donna trying to convince all the new people that they cannot go outside. Now, there's a lot of people in here that don't believe her, a lot of people that want to go out there until they start hearing the bodies getting snatched up, the people dying outside. After that, a lot of the people that are there do not want to go outside at all, except for one guy who seems to be the hothead of the new group, and he's determined to get outside by any means necessary. Tabitha and Victor make it to his secret hideout so that they're safe from the monsters, and after that, we get Christy talking to her girlfriend Mary, which is really important because Mary tells her that even though her and her parents went away and looked for her and went to the cops and everything, she's only been less than 2 hours away. So when she got on that bus, it was less than 2 hours before they arrived where they are at. Now, I believe they're in Abbeville, South Carolina, which is exactly 921.7 miles away, which means it would take them 13 hours and 43 minutes in light traffic, and somehow they got there in less than 2 hours. After that, we see Tom, Jim, and the new guy trapped in the rubble, and I told you that this guy was gonna get up and freak out that he was pinned underneath there, and that's exactly what he does, putting everybody underneath all that rubble at risk because this guy just doesn't want to shut his mouth. He's just a chatty patty. I kind of understand where he's at, but in the situation that he's in, he needs to shut the hell up at this particular time because he's just going to get all of them killed. After that, Boyd shows Martin that he has a talisman, and because he has so, he could set him free and they can be okay. Now, it seems that Boyd believes that he's the only one who ever found these talismans. We have no idea if that is actually what happened, but we do get some interesting words from Martin at this time.
In the forest, they protect us, keep us safe. They won't be able to hurt you there.
You think those things that come out of the forest at night did this? They're just the tip of the spear.
So right after Boyd shows Martin the talismans that says that's going to protect him from the creatures, and he doesn't have anything to worry about when he gets back into town, Martin says to him, do you think that those creatures are the ones who did that? They are just the tip of the spear. Now that is a military term. And when you're using that term, the tip of the spear is a person or group of people that is the first to do something considered difficult or dangerous. He's trying to say that these people are not the ones pulling the strings. They're not at the end of the spear. They're at the tip of the spear. They're just the ones doing the dirty work, meaning that there are people back here, the ones that are holding him hostage, are the real people pulling the strings and the real people who set this whole situation up. And I'm going to come back to this as soon as this video is over near the end. We're going to talk more about this theory. We see Julie and the rest of the people really worried about what's going on outside because now they can hear people getting eaten. They can hear people dying. And what does Kenny try to do? He tries to calm Julie down in a childish way, but at least he's trying to step up and help Donna control the people that are in this place because Fatima and Ellis are out here and they're trying to save this mixed race couple out there from getting eaten alive, but they cannot do it. They have no choice but to retreat back inside of the post office. And we see Fatima basically snap. I've never thought that I'd see her snap like this, but she definitely lost her cool, and she says straight up that she just can't take it anymore. And she was always the most calm person that was there. She was always the one who had the stuff to say to help everybody out, but these creatures have broke her. And I think that is the whole thing that this place is trying to do. They're trying to break you mentally. They're trying to put as much stress as possible on you to see how you endure it. After that, we go back to inside of the gym trapped. And as I said before in one of my previous videos, this guy had internal bleeding because of the stuff that has fell on top of him. And that is going to be the cause of his death. And it was. Because this dude right here, played by A.J. Simmons, I think his name is Colin, but that dude right there is a problem. He's the one trying to mess everything up, but he's doing it in a good way. As we talked about, me and Phil, before, this guy truly thinks that he's a hero and wants to be the hero. It's not like he's trying to get outside just to cause a ruckus. He's trying to get outside to save the people that he hears screaming outside, but he doesn't understand what's going on. So he grabs up Kenny, puts the gun to Kenny, and wants to go in there. But Donna, holding the ground, is ready to let him shoot Kenny and shoot him right after, just to make sure everybody else survive. So Donna's willing to sacrifice Kenny if need be, and then take him out if she has to, which is the right play for them to do. Eventually, they hear a scream. After they hear that scream, this distracts the character Colin, being played by A.J. Simmons, and then Kenny is able to get the gun from him. Once Kenny gets the gun out of his hands, Donna hits him with the butt of her gun, knocking him out and taking the threat out. Donna is the MVP once again. After that, we go back to Boyd holding it down with his boy Martin, and he sees this music box, and this music box seems to be a timer, and he says that Boyd has to get out of there before this music box stops, because that's when they will be back. As soon as that stops, these people who are holding him hostage and everybody else, the skeletons that we've seen, are going to be back when the music box stops playing. After Boyd looks at the music box, which is a weird alarm clock and everything else, he goes and tries to get Martin out of there, but he looks at his arm and he sees Martin has like worms underneath his arms.
Let go, Martin. My blood is your blood now.
After the music box stops, he says we're out of time. He then grabs Boyd, scratches Boyd on the arm, and transfers his blood into Boyd's arm and says, my blood is your blood now. He says a couple of other interesting things in there. He knows exactly what Abby said. He knows exactly what was going on with her, and I do have a theory why that's happening and what's going on with him. After doing that, he dies right then. Boyd then takes the torch and then goes outside. When he goes through the door, as soon as he goes through the door after getting the torch and he leaves that room, he is then transported outside. That whole room, everywhere he was at, is gone. And he's in the woods with all the monsters out there about to hunt him. And he grabs his torch and he just walks around trying to find his way back into town without being spotted. But as he's doing so, he's in pain from the scratch that he received on his arm. The smile creature makes his way onto the bus, but as he does something very interesting. He touches everything. He rubs and caresses the steering wheel. He plays with the lights. It seems like he's got a touchy feeling thing. Back in the colony house, he was rubbing his hand on the banister every time. So something's going on with him and feeling and touching, almost maybe like he's trying to reimagine his human beings inside of him. But he then kills the old couple. We've seen that in the trailer when he takes them out. Victor talks to Tabitha while they're inside of their little bunker, and he says that it was his mother that brought him to this spot. He doesn't really want to talk about everything else that happened there, but that is the key information, that it was his mother that brought him here. So it could be that Victor was not born in this town, but he was brought here by his mother. After that, Boyd finds his way to them. They get inside of the place. They think it's a creature outside, and it's Boyd. Boyd finds his way to them. He gets inside. He pulls up. He puts the talisman up, gives it to Tabitha. Tabitha puts up the talisman, and then they are safe. After that, we see Elgin come from outside being chased by the monsters, and then Boyd eventually lets him in, and this is when Boyd finds out that there is a bus of people out there. After that, we go back to Jim and Tom and this new guy, and this is when the new guy actually does pass away in this scene. And also in this scene, we see the death of Tom. Tom gets taken out. Now, I told you people that he wasn't the mole. I know a lot of people thought he was the mole, but he gets taken out. The guy just made too much noise, and that's what gets Tom killed in the end. When they're all inside the bunker, we see Boyd start to question Victor about the bunker, how he built the bunker, how he didn't know that this bunker existed. And inside of this bunker, there's a lot of interesting things. He asks him what is he drawing, and Victor shows him a picture of the puppet that he's seen up inside of the cave.
It's good to draw them when you see them, so even if you forget, pictures remember.
Another thing is that Victor does not like Elgin. For some reason, he sees him. He says he doesn't trust him. He has no reason not to trust him, but just by him looking at him, he's suspect and says something's going on with him. Now, we know Elgin did have the dream. He also had the seizures, just like Ethan had the seizure and just like Sarah had the seizure. So he's connected to this place. After that, the jukebox plays. It plays a song by Leonard Cohen. It's called Who's by Fire. I'll break down the song for you in a second. The sun rises. Julie runs outside to see if her father is okay. She does figure out that he has survived. Everyone goes out there to try to save him. We see the remains of Tom. So he was dragged from underneath the rubble and then left outside, body put on display. Unlike the old couple who were inside of the truck and still left inside the bus, the monster didn't take him outside. They left him in there. For some reason, they pulled Tom's body out, this one monster, and dissected him outside and left his body out there for display. I do believe that these bodies are put there for display purposes, that they want them to be found and they want people to be scared when they find them. We then see the bus driver go on the bus and find the remains of the old couple, and this is when she realizes that everything that these people have told her from the beginning is true, and she is in a world of shit, and she has no idea what she has gotten herself into. Boyd, Elgin, Tabitha, and Victor then leave the trailer that they stayed in overnight, and then once she finds out that the house collapsed, Tabitha then takes off and runs back to find out if her family member are safe. After this, we see Boyd then look at his forearm, and when he does look at his forearm, he sees something there. And what does he see? He sees that there are worms crawling underneath his skin, just like they were crawling underneath the old man's skin. So this guy has transferred what was inside of him into Boyd. So now Boyd has a problem going on under his arm. And I do believe Victor is the only one that's seen what was going on. And that's how we end this episode. So let's get to the theory. I'm going to go into more details in further videos later on this week, but from what we've seen right now, first, let's start with Boyd and the old man that's inside the cave. When we've seen him in there, the guy says that this is just the tip of the spear. So that means, to me, there are 4 groups of people. There are Boyd and all the people that are captured there. There are also the monsters that are there that are chasing them and trying to eat them. We also have the people who were chained up, that guy that was chained up, the old man with the beard, and then we have the people above them all. So there's 4 groups of people inside of this whole thing, and to me, this is all just an experiment It's just people testing people for some strange reason. Another thing I picked up on is Elgin. When you look at Elgin's shirt, he has a raven on his shirt. He also had seizures and he also had dreams, meaning he's connected to this place. We've seen that Martin was able to tell Boyd exactly what his wife said. The only way I could see that being possible is that if Martin was able to see through the eyes of these ravens and pick up on everything. It's a good chance that Martin is the one who is sending Sarah all the messages. We'll see if she still gets messages, because I don't think it's just Martin there. I think there's something else going on. In dealing with the song that was playing at the end of the show, it was Leonard Cohen's Who by Fire. Now, there are two main inspirations behind Leonard Cohen's Who's by Fire. First and foremost is the fact that this song is basically an extended version of part of a Jewish prayer. The second reason he wrote this song because he was during the time 1973 when he was supporting Israel, who was engaged in the Yom Kippur War. So this song is basically a song about death. When they say who by fire, it would truly mean who will die by fire, because this song is dealing with war and dealing with death. The same type of thing that we heard Martin say earlier with tip of the spear, which is a military term. So it all clicks together. In my previous videos, I shown you how Hebrew symbols were on the talismans. And I told you that this is just like the Holocaust when they were experimenting on children, especially twin children. I'll put the links in the description and at the end of the videos in the card so you can go back and watch those videos. But that's what I believe is going on here. Please join me live 10 p.m. tonight. We will be doing a full breakdown of this episode, and we will be joined by your favorite creature, the Jasmine creature, while we break it down. So make sure that you're subscribed to the channel so you can call in and ask her your questions. And if you like the way I do this, please thumbs up this, spread this across the realm, and of course, subscribe. And until next time, you know who it is. Peace and stay sexy.